everyone. Welcome to the Book Over, a little book club where we talk about books, especially the ones that give us book hangovers. I'm Sarah, and with me is Megan.
Hi.
And today we are talking about Fboys Psychos by CM Stunich. I know we've talked about her a few times. Sorry.
Have to not.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sorry.
We weren't planning on this one either. And then I read it and Megan read it. And I said, can we please do an episode on it? And Megan said, yes.
Yes, please.
So here we are. Spoiler alert. We are talking about the book. So if you haven't read the book, don't listen unless you're okay with hearing about the book.
Oh, there's so much to get into.
Yeah. And again, I just want to go straight to the ending of it. And I know we can't. So one thing I have to say about this book, it does take place in Prescott. It is Scarlett Force, who we get little comments about during in Havoc. Mm-hmm. So that's great. I did see a review where someone was like, it's too much like Havoc and I'm like, but it's
not
the world.
At all.
It's the world of it. And it's not, because Prescott is such this like the city, and it explains the city and what's going on in it and like the nitty gritty of it all. And it's like these characters are so different than the Havoc characters. And they're, because what I love about Scarlett is like she's in her high heels, she's in her designer clothes she steals or races for. Like, I love that. And then like I'm really interested in like how much she hates the color red, but it's everywhere. Her car, her nails, her name, like, yeah.
Because she's strong. Like, if you talk about people wanting a strong female main character, she is strong. She runs Prescott. This takes place before Havoc. And she even says there's no guy running things. Like, there's no one strong enough to really step up. Like, Bones could if he wanted to, but he doesn't want it. So she's the like main leader. There's no girl leader, no guy leader. She's the main leader of Prescott High. She has her girl gang. And I think you're very right. Like, it's its own little subculture, this town of Prescott, where they care about their car. Like, even though this is the race one, they cared about their cars. Hale cared about his cars in Havoc. They have like the 50s style diner. It's just the way that their little neighborhood is. So set in that world, which I absolutely love. But I love that she's the one. It's her crew. Havoc is not born yet. It's Scarlett Force, and it's her crew running things. Her girl gang.
For her girl gang. And I love it's like her senior year, and she's already talked about like who's going to take over when she leaves, and how she has her eyes on so and so. Lauren, wait, what's that her name, the other girl?
And it's the one who I think becomes isn't it the one who becomes like the girl leader
of the girls, so like the working girls, right? So I love the connection of it all, and it can totally be separate. You don't have to read both series.
Not at all.
And this one's so.
Plus, it takes place before Havoc too.
It takes before, and I love these characters, and I know you have your favorite guy, and I went through this like roller coaster of them because Bones,
I did too, to a point.
Bones. At first I wasn't a fan of Bones, and then now I love Bones. And then when I met Widow, I loved Widow. Love Widow.
I like Widow. I like him, but someone has to go to the bottom. He just always has to be a bottom.
There always has to be, right? Well, and then for a while, Lexi was my bottom because I didn't get enough of him yet. And then once I got his story, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love you.
I love him. I just had I have a thing for like the germaphobes, but then you put on the fact that he can like kill somebody with like a needle, and I'm like, what? And then his story on top of it.
Super like karate self-defense moves is amazing too. Yeah. And then you have Aspen / Ash. And at first I had mixed feelings. I was like, that guy's not going to be in the harem. And then I'm like, wait, is he going to be in? And then no, he's not going to be. And then I'm like, yeah. And so now he's like Bones. They're like 3-way tied for me, right? Well, no, 4-way. It's a 4-way tie.
I like that. Okay, it's a two-way tie for me with Alex. Well, maybe Alexi's a little it's Bones and Alexi, and then Ash falls a little bit. He's getting. I like him. I like his story, but I like the other two more. And then Widow's. I like Widow. I like him. It's I like all of them. They have such different personalities and such compelling stories. Like, how does she keep coming up with all these unique characters with these unique backgrounds? I don't understand her brain.
Okay, so let's go character by character.
Yes. Okay.
Bones. Let's just do the guys right now,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So Bones, I'm really intrigued by him because he knows everything. And I'm like, who's working with him for him to know everything? Because he can't be everywhere at once, but he knows so much and he is so solo. And I'm just so intrigued on his story.
Like, does he have like a secret gang of like people, like little birdies?
Right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, yeah, who's his little birdies?
Yeah.
Like, and then it's like with the like his, and then I want to know his family story, like the tattoos and everything about him. He's just really intriguing. And I love that he knows Scarlett, right? Like he's not letting on how much he wants her and how much he knows of her, but he's like, I know I need to take my time and ease her into this because we will be together. And I loved that. I love that. And it's so creepy, like who, like, you know, like it's so creeper. And I love how she can sense him, but not all the time, right? Because when she was in the woods trying to bury the body, she didn't sense him.
I think it's when he lets her sense him.
Right?
I think, yes.
When he lets her, you're right. When he lets her. And so I'm so intrigued by Bones. And I
me too. The fingers did it for me.
I mean, what better gift? Like he touched you unwanted. Here's his fingers. Do what you want with them. And then when she gave them back, he's like, that was too nice. And I was like, I loved that.
And I love their history too, where like, you know, it's said that he helped like deal with the body of the people that hurt her family. And like it was a free, you know, or like even if she wouldn't take freebies, like he would do it discounted, like whatever it's like you said, he knows her so well, he'll do whatever he can, like just at the line that she'll accept.
I love how he's like, I charge on a tiered system. And I love that he has a tiered
now you're like the queen
system. Like I'm just like, yes,
it's a sliding scale.
I love his system. I'm really intrigued by him. I want it because I feel like I've gotten to know him in this book, but I need more. There's so much more to have of him.
And I'm excited for it. And that's the thing, CM is gonna give it to us. She doesn't disappoint.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then Widow.
I knew you were say Widow.
I love that he reads those romance books in the library.
Oh,
I love that he's a complete loner.
The alien one. Oh my gosh.
And I love that she's like teasing him and then they don't even have sex. But she's like, oh my gosh, we broke the rules of the race.
Yes.
We have to talk to Bones to see if this counts as a violation. I loved it all. And then I love how he like is teasing her as she's teasing him. And then but then it was like, whoa, dude. Cause obviously he's fighting it. He's like, doesn't understand.
Yeah. And I like
as good. And that he has a story.
He has that background. And I thought that was really neat. And coming out of juvie too. And he's like definitely fighting it.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. He's like coming into his own sexuality, and I love that he is learning through the books.
He's learning through the books. He's trying to understand. Yeah. And I love that.
Reverse harem book in there.
Well, and then I love that he's like, he told her like, I'm learning through the books, and that what he learned from the books, he's like, you're gonna be mine or something. What? And it's like, and it's
so funny.
I loved that. I was like, okay, you definitely have read some books, but I think you did it wrong.
Right? That was so cute though.
It was really cute. And I think that's why he earned major. I mean, he has an awesome car. I like his personality, his standoffishness. I love the books
I
and
do
that. And then I
too.
love that he's racing. Like I love how she's kind of clueless on like why, while like Bones and him raced. And she's like,
Yeah.
why would he even agree to do that race? You know? Like,
Yeah.
and then he raced Ash or Aspen.
Oof.
I don't know who. He raced one of them. I can't remember, right?
I can't remember. He definitely he raced one of that. Okay, well, she had to go with
She was dealing. She was with Bones.
the one that
Alex,
she the one that she had sex with was Ash. So that was the one that he raced then, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. Good job. So I love that. I love how she had to break up their fight and like go off.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love when her, okay, so now we're at Ash.
And
Aspen and
Aspen.
Ash. Like, so like hated Aspen, love the name.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ash, you know, and then like the sex on the car thing like that. You know me, everyone who knows me, I love a good, add some hot muscle cars in there and like, yeah, that's good. And then, yeah, so Ash, Ash, I think is going to end up being a really favorite of mine because he's going to be, because of the cliffhanger that happens at the end, he's going to
really
be very self-sacrificing. Like he's saying like, no, Ash is dead. So, okay, maybe we should skip Ash. Maybe not. So Ash having to pretend to be Aspen, he's going to have to do things he doesn't want to do. Yeah. And then what about the friend? Is he going to have to like sleep with her and stuff?
I feel like CM's not going to let that happen.
Please don't let that happen because that's going to break my heart.
I feel like he's going to be dodging her, and that's going to be like a whole thing. Like, because he's going to be doing it all for her, for Scarlett. He's in love. He couldn't deny it, even though his whole life he's been putting up with his brother and, you know, falling into the background. He's stepping up because like she did what he couldn't do, which is kill his terrible brother. So I feel like he's going to be doing a lot of things he doesn't want to do, but I think he's going to draw the line there. I think it's going to be probably funny. I think it's going to be kind of comical. I'm picturing him like denying her in almost a comical way, but like the father saying you have to marry her for whatever nefarious purposes they have. Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting.
It is. And I'm really curious on how far it's going to go before he's like enough. Yeah. And how far she's going to let it go, how far Scarlett's going to let it go before she's like enough.
They're definitely going to have to put some kind of plan into place. I feel like they're going to be taking down the father.
Do we know how long the series is going to be?
3 books. Yes. Okay. 3 books. And so we have coming out the end of the oh my god, Endgame Romance this month. Then next month is the next Scarlett Force, and then February, I believe.
February and March. Yeah. Okay.
I believe February is when the book ends for Scarlett Force. Okay. So 3. Yes.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see what happens with that. I don't even know how they're gonna do it. And there's so much going on too with that, like realty group and his dad and everything. And then what happened with Alexi's dad. So now moving on to Alexi.
I love Alexi so much. He's my favorite, basically. I mean, Bones and him. I love Alexi. I love him.
Poor Alexi. And then what's Scarlett gonna do with him? Because Scarlett obviously she's gonna help him. And I hate that she got interrupted, that she had to go break up the fight when she was gonna tell Alexi, yeah, I'm gonna help you. So now she's gotta like find him, right? And like tell him, or
he ended up being such a surprising character. Like I already had loved that he was like a germaphobe and but he could do all this like ninja like with a ninja needle. But I really loved their scenes of her pushing him, you know, out of the comfort zone. Then when they went to that ball, he's just such a gentleman, and it went from like her pushing him out of the comfort zone to them kind of like finding this, I don't know, kinship, camaraderie with hating these people. And she's like so refreshing to him, and he's so fascinating to her, and she's so understanding of him. I just think they have this great chemistry and this great dynamic, and I love their dichotomy of like their two worlds. I don't know. I just love it. I just couldn't get enough of their stuff.
Yeah. I think she's gonna, well, because like, you know, how he let her kiss him. And she was like, I'm so sorry. Like she, you know, it's so funny because like she puts on such a hard shell for everybody because she has to be. She's the top girl of the school, you know, she has her group and she's in charge and she has to be. And there's a couple of times you can go inside her inner dialogue and she's like, I know this is rude, but I have to, because if I let this slide, then who else is gonna try, you know what I mean? So it's like
with Lemon.
And I feel that for her too, like how hard is that to be like, I need to stay, it's a survival there. And so like to survive, she's got to stay up there. And it's not just for her, it's for her girls too. Like what's going to happen to them if she falls.
And she cares about her girls a lot, which I love.
And I love that she cares about her girls. She cares about her grandma and like all that she's dealing with. And then the reporter.
Oh yes. So we have a little like intrigue going on with that.
An interesting relationship.
Yes.
And so my question is, did Bones, because Bones was there when the reporter took those blackmailing images of her and Ash. Why did he let that happen?
Maybe he
didn't. He knows. He knows she's there. He's even said he doesn't like her snooping around and stuff.
Maybe he didn't know that she got the photos though. I don't know.
Or maybe he showed up after. Like, how did he even track them all? He's good. He's just good.
It took him a minute. Yeah.
But how did she even find them?
I'm
asking some hard questions here.
I know.
I
know, but it's very. I mean, there's just so much going. But I love it. I love how, you know, you've got the Prescott High dynamics, you got the dynamics of the boys, then you have this overall like gentrification. They're kind of pushing people out. Something is nefarious with the building company. It's not just them trying to like buy the houses and push people out. There's something else going on. You know, Lemon is being, you know, used. Why? I'm really curious what's going to happen with Prescott. Like there's something like really bad going on, I think, besides just I think there's like way more to it. I think it's going to be I think very
sorry. So many people are like involved with like Alexi's dad because it was like the chief of police who killed him.
Yes.
You know, so it's like there's so much
conspiracy.
Yeah, so much going on, and he didn't know. He was trying to get his dad to talk to him about what was going on too. So he doesn't even fully know, but he might know a little bit more. It's going to be really interesting, and I'm really interested to see where we go in the next.
I do wonder because of, you know, during Havoc, if there's any connection to the underworld of how, you know, they had such nefarious players in Havoc running those rings, you know, that were happening in Havoc. I'm wondering if this, you know, is the start of that. If there's like going to be some kind of underbelly, you know, they think they're solving, you know, whatever problem they are, but then there's also this other nefarious thing going on in the background, which does, you know, get taken care of in Havoc. So because we definitely know that there's a lot of corruption with the elite in that town from that book. So I'm very, very, very curious to see if this is like the start of it and how it goes. I also love how that radio station gets mentioned and they're just playing all that good music. I just love there's always good music mentions in CM's books. Just wanted to mention that.
Well, and then it's just like stuff that it's so funny because like I don't know if anyone else does this, but like I'll be reading something in the book and then something will happen in real life and I'm like, oh my gosh, like so like here they're tearing down like a shopping center and they're gonna build like a 5-story apartment building and like and do shops on the bottom like floor level and then like the apartments above it, but where I live, it's already so crowded and there's so many problems with how crowded it is on the streets and parking and crime and stuff. And it just makes me like when I just finished this book and then like my husband tells me that they're going to bulldoze this place and build, you know, more apartments and then, I'm like, well, what happens to the people who can't afford those apartments? Like, and I started like, I was totally like the radio station or this book. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like, I'm like, we're in Prescott.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's relatable. That's the thing. Unfortunately, that is happening. That stuff does happen.
Yeah. So it's like
That's
you
so
start
crazy,
looking
though. That you see it, like once you read it, now you're aware of it, and that
you're
like
aware of
everyone.
it. Well, it's just like, like the human trafficking and thing of stuff. Like we all know it happens out there, and then you read about it. And so then you start looking for those signs, and you're like, do I trust you? Or are you going to be that like one person that like is the person that scouts the girls, sorry, off topic.
Well, no, I think we're all a little scared to sit in our car at night. You know what I mean? You like run
lock
into
the doors right away. I mean, I did that the second, when I was like a teenager, I watched Urban Legends because I was such a fan of Joshua Jackson.
Yes,
And
me
yes,
too.
I
Oh my
loved him.
gosh.
And
forever.
right. And then oh gosh, don't even get me started on that show. But like every time, like at night when I get to my car, I look in the back seat, get in, I lock the doors. And that's just what we do as readers and watchers of things,
And Scarlett Force would be proud of us because she would say, check your back seats. I 100% believe she would say that to us.
Yes, if we were part of one of her girls, she would definitely. And is it bad? I do not. I'm tall. I'm 5'8", and so I don't wear high heels because I don't need to be any taller. But after reading this book, I'm like, do I need to start wearing high heels? I want to drive in high heels and like get out of my car, this totally a mom car, and be like, look at me, I'm a badass.
Here's the secret to high heels in cars. Don't drive in the wear flats to drive, take the flats off and put the high heels on right before you get out of the car.
Right? That's probably what I would do.
Yes.
Driving on heels. Flats.
Driving. Yes. Yeah. So that's what I would. I haven't worn heels, and I only wear them occasionally. I used to wear them all the time when I was younger because I'm very short. But you become a preschool teacher and you learn real quick that heels are for young people.
Yeah. Right. I think they're just pretty. I think they look pretty. Good. And like when you read a character
or something, or or if an inspiring character like Scarlett Force or like Hades from James series always wore heel. Yes, it does. I love when a book can do that. It can make you wanna, like Bernie made me want a pink jacket, and I totally bought a pink jacket. So.
See?
Yeah.
It's like that's the great thing about books. It's like, you can watch a TV show and like the characters and stuff, but I feel like a book, something about reading the book and then really feeling for that character or liking that character and being like, I think it's because you get a lot of their inner dialogue too. So you know what's going on in their head, and then you can really admire them and be like, I just need some high heels and a muscle car right now.
You just feel more connected to them in a book. I totally agree. And that's what's a special book. A special book can do that. And I think that, CM does that with this book and with Scarlett. Like, seriously, what a great, awesome female, strong main character. And then like every guy is like just so well written.
Yeah. And I love the journey. Because it took a while. Each one had their own journey of how I'm going to like them, when I'm going to like them, if I'm going to like, I just got, but now I'm like, well, all of them. I mean, again, why choose? And it's
thank goodness for that.
Right. Yeah. I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Me too. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Yeah. It's going to be something. Okay. Well.
Yeah. All right. Do we have a hair of a book?
Oh, that's a great question.
I do, because this is what I literally did, and I didn't mean to, but it turned into my hair of a book because I read this book. I loved it. Can't stop thinking about it. And then I got an arc, and I read the arc, and it totally put me back into like reset me, like a hair of a book should do. So it's Wildcat by Rebecca Jen Shack. hope I'm saying her name right, hot hockey player. He accidentally sleeps with his coach's daughter. They don't know that she doesn't know he's a player. He doesn't know she's the coach's daughter. And then they like run into each other. And it's like all this, him like pretty much trying to convince her to like be in this relationship. And there's a lot of hot, steamy scenes. There's some drama and stuff. It's a good happy-ish. It's not, you know, drama, bad, you know, like it's not dark. Yeah. It's light. It's fun. And it really brought me back after like this. It brought me back. So that's why I'm like, yes.
I love that. Yeah. And I like, if I do sports, I really, really do like hockey a lot.
So he can fight still. He can still be aggressive, impulsive, exactly. You know,
about hockey players.
Yeah.
Okay, so my hair of the book is called Bloody Princess by Helena Scott and Zoe Shelby. And I have mentioned it to you before because I love it and I'm telling everyone to read it. And it's dark. It is on I think that people who like Scarlett Force and Havoc will like Bloody Princess. It's got a really strong female main character who is out for revenge for her dead sister, and she goes to college. And it's her first time of freedom. She's in this like mafia family, and she's the daughter that was trained to be like the like enforcer. And she's had like a rough traumatic childhood, and she was kind of given off after her mom died to like her dad's second in command to be trained. So her sister, who was kind of the golden child, is dies, and she and her twin, who faked her death, decide to infiltrate the school where she thinks that the boys that are responsible for her sister's death go, and they're also part of like the main mafia families. So that's why she has to do it like on the DL and has to be sure. So she goes to school and gets intel on them, and she has to kind of try to live a life of like the normal college student that she never got to have. She never got to be like a normal high school student, and then try to be on her mission. And like her, obviously it goes awry. She starts falling for some of the guys. I like that at first it's not all of the guys. It's a very natural pace. It's a really good story. And it has a really accurate depiction of Greek life and sorority life. If you've never been in Greek life, I'm not talking about the hazing. The hazing is like, you know, completely an exaggeration. Like when I was in a sorority, we never hazed at all, but everything else is so true, from like the type of parties to the rush. I just thought like, wow, they did a really great job, because it's not just like the book sorority. It's like it's well done. So I just can't recommend this series enough. And it definitely took me out of my book hangover for this one. There's 2 out right now. So yeah, highly recommend.
Yes, she does, because she has told me to read it. I have started it. I just have not finished it. So
you will finish it though, and you will love it. I promise you. Yeah. No, seriously, it's so good.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's my hair of the book.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, everyone, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed our episode and enjoyed the book, and hopefully our hair of the books too. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening.